All right. Hello, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and this is the eCom Sellers podcast. I have with me my co host, my partner in crime, my buddy along this journey.
Kelly, the eCom mom ward.
And Kelly and I come to you every week to share with you e commerce news, tips, and more. So, we are moving our eCom Sellers podcast to 6 p.m. on Mondays. It's been 8:30 p.m. for 4 years now, and so we're moving it. It was Ecom Mondays if you're looking for us, and so we're moving it to 6 p.m. So in October, look for it at 6 p.m. But for right now, we are here 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time this Monday, and this is it. This is the last Monday, and we moved to 6 p.m. So I am looking forward to it. I don't know if Kelly is, but I'm looking forward to it. So Kelly and I are here to talk about the e-commerce news, tips, and more, whatever's happening out here in the streets when it comes to e-commerce, whether it's resellers, whether it's private label, white label, print on demand, drop shipping, wholesale. We kind of talk about a little bit of everything. So, Miss Kelly, what's been going on in your business and what's been going on in your life before we get into the news?
Oh, it's been my business has kind of picked up this last week. So I'm glad about that. I've kind of put myself on a sourcing hiatus for the last 3 weeks, because it had been so slow, and I'm like, I'm not gonna, I got plenty of stuff I need to list here. I don't need to go out and I go shopping, but I do plan to go this week because at the end of each month, one of my favorite thrift stores has a
Mhm.
75% off their
Nice.
color tag of the month.
Okay.
So that's going to be this week because last week was 50% off. So this week's 75% off. So
Okay.
I usually can go out there and I could spend like $15 and have a cart full of stuff. So,
Nice.
yeah. So
That
I'm
is
looking forward to that because I haven't been shopping. Because I usually I'll go like on Saturdays, but I did one weekend I did some Uber Eats instead of going sourcing, and another weekend I worked an extra shift at my nursing job, and then this past Saturday we had choir practice from 9 to 12. We're getting ready for Christmas already, so we had choir practice for all that time.
Look at you. Kelly is coming for this extra money. Like,
Hmm.
okay, she's a hustler through and through, y'all. Hustler through and through. Oh my gosh. Well, we went to the HEB that opened here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and that was a little bananas. There was lines wrapped. It was made the news, of course. Locally, I don't know if it made the news nationally, but it definitely made the news locally. It may have made the news just because it's in Texas, so in other parts of Texas. But they're opening up like five HEBs in our area. And that's sort of a big deal. HEBs are grocery stores for those people who don't know what they are, and they are sort of like a mega grocery store, sort of. And it's going to be real interesting. We already know of some, grocery store chains that are closing some of their locations because of this. It's like, what? So the line was wrapped around. We didn't go on day one because that's just too much. But we did go this weekend, and the line wasn't too bad for us. It did wrap around the building. But the one thing I will say is that it was bananas when we got in there. It was more than what I was expecting. It was packed to the gills, people everywhere, and it was like, okay, what? Not right now. So we're gonna go back. I'm hoping to do an arbitrage shop there. Second Saturday, we'll see. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It would be nice. I think there's a lot of good finds there, and so I'm looking forward to that. I know you guys have HEB, so it's not a big deal to you.
Yeah, I
I've had them.
mostly do curbside pickup with HEB. That's just I do a lot of curbside pickup and have groceries. Like I had Walmart delivered this weekend.
Uh-huh.
Just saves time, so
It
I
does.
can focus on listing and such.
I understand. I get it. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get after the news. So, talk to me about the news.
All right, we got a lot this week because eBay had their eBay open last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep.
It was virtual, so I attended it as much as I could because I had to work some of the days. But I kind of put the pulled it up on my phone and was listening to it while I was working. But there are, it was really great. I loved they had little breakout sessions for training, and they had breakout sessions that were led by sellers, and you were networking with other sellers. I love that part. You
Nice.
can watch the pre-recorded training sessions on the eBay for Business YouTube channel and the Facebook page starting next week. And the training sessions are great because they have some training sessions for people who are just learning eBay, and then they have training sessions for more advanced. So you can go through, but even if you're advanced, you could go through the basic ones and maybe pick up something you didn't know. So they also announced some good changes. They're increasing the photo numbers. You used to be able to put like 12 photos or 11 photos in one video. Now they're going to increase it to 24. That was announced
Okay.
during eBay Open. Yeah.
Okay.
They also announced a new lower USPS rates for priority mail beginning today, the 26th. But they did say that UPS will be increasing some of its rates between 1% to 3%. So, and also they'll be launching a new international shipping program to replace the GSP program that they have, the global shipping program.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it sounds to be pretty much like what the global shipping program was, but
Okay.
maybe I don't know. They just kind of announced it, and they're going to be rolling it out slowly next year to sellers that they'll get like a notification that they've been invited to the program and such. But the global shipping program is really great. Because you're just
You ship it to one
you're
location.
just you send it to some here. Well, you only have to send it here domestically. You don't have to worry about the customs and all that.
Right.
And if your item gets broken or damaged in shipping from the
The global shipping main shipping location here in the
yeah,
US to its
it
destination. Yeah.
they will cover that. I had that happen this month. I sent out something and went to Ireland, and it got there broken, and the customer emailed me, showed me pictures, and I explained to them, well, you need to open a return, but we're covered. He goes, well, I don't have to worry about shipping it back. I was like, you won't have to ship it back. I said, you don't have to ship it back. You open up the return, and we tell them this is through global shipping program, and the customer got their money back, and they didn't take the money from me. I was covered. So.
Yep. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Like
All
that
right.
program.
All right. Etsy is changing their return policies, and they're giving sellers until the end of October to update their return policies. They're moving away from shop-wide general policies to more listing-specific policies. So that way, maybe if you sell soaps or something and you really don't want someone to return some used soap.
No. No, I don't want you to return that.
Yeah. So you can put no returns on your soaps, but maybe your other stuff, clothes or something, you'll take returns on. So they're giving sellers until the end of October to update that. I hadn't noticed the email about it, but sometimes they get lost in the millions of emails I get. FedEx is going to be raising shipping rates in January, but we're used to that. We're used to every January that we see shipping rates go up. Let's see, Amazon. Amazon's giving FBA sellers more breathing room on their new inbound workflow. They started I think beginning this month or something, and they're giving a little more time for them to get used to it, and they need to address some problems that sellers have pointed out to this workflow. So they're still keeping that old workflow there for a little bit longer, so that people can learn the new one, and they can adjust to the problems they have with the new one.
Okay.
And that was really all what I had.
All right. Well, let me share my screen. I pulled up a whole bunch of news. So, only because there was just a lot of news out there, and some of it, a couple of them you covered, but a couple of them, more than a couple, you didn't. So, that's all right. That's what we do. All right, let's see if I can do this right. Me and this tool, we just fight with each other. We do. It's a battle for my soul every day. Okay, so the first one is FedEx to close stores and freeze hiring as demand slumps. So there's two FedEx articles. This one comes to us from CBS News. There's two FedEx articles that are out there, but some of their locations, they are closing or shutting down. Not all, they're just seeing a reduction. So this is going to be interesting to watch and to monitor. As Kelly said, they're raising their prices. All of them are going to be raising prices, so this is not new information. But a lot of the retailers, they were a little scared, freaked out, including the shipping retailers, a little freaked out by quarter two. Quarter three is starting to show some promise, but quarter two was just a little too much for them. So so they're predicting that this might be a little bit of a slower Q4 than planned. So typically there's like a ramp up in all the retail regions and all of the, FedEx, UPS, USPS during Q4 because more packages, more shipping, more everything. So we'll see what this means and see how this impacts FedEx long term. But some of their store locations are closing. This is in CBS News. And their typical hiring that they do, they are freezing it. And, I can't see that they're freezing it 100%, but that's what their corporate office says. And we're going to see what that does to them. I guess that means that those people that want some extra overtime, they're going to get it if they're not hiring as many new drivers.
Yeah.
Um,
Usually they got the seasonal workers come in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're freezing, not hiring free seasonal workers. So that means those people that are there right now, they get the extra work. So Olympia Sports, if you have one in your area, is filed for bankruptcy and they're going through a liquidation. Again, for those who are sourcing right now, popular way to acquire some inventory is through liquidations. You have to be cautious and mindful of what that means and what your margins are on that. And because sometimes you don't, what is it called? I cannot remember what the term is called, but anyway, you're getting the source of the inventory from the liquidator. That's the only invoice you'll have for that. So you just want to be mindful of that, and if there's any additional approvals that are needed. But if you have an Olympia Sports or you have access to a liquidator that is getting a bunch of inventory from them, that may be beneficial to you. So you might want to go look them up, see what they sold or what they sell, either way. Walmart Canada turns to automated AI solution to curb out of stocks. So Walmart Canada is not as big as it is in the US. Let's just start with that. But, they're starting to see a little bit of traction. And Walmart Canada online, if you're able to sell Walmart Canada online, that's a great opportunity as well. Because again, they're working to expand their footprint in Canada. But in any case, out of stock has been a big issue. Actually, I think out of stock has been a big issue everywhere because I will literally go into stores and it's just like, what was here? What was on the shelf? And I know this is the time of year in which they are moving stuff around. So whole shelves will be empty just because they're moving things around to prepare for the holiday. They're shifting the stores and the setup for the stores so that all the holiday stuff starts to come in, Halloween, then right after that, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so they're making that space. But sometimes there's areas of the store where they're not making that shift or change and you still have empty shelves. And so that's what I'm talking about. So this will be interesting. We talked about last week that all of the platforms are investing in technology. And so Walmart is no different. So expect changes over the next, who knows, 12 to 18 months nonstop. And if you're working on Walmart Canada, the other thing is that if they got some out of stock, that might be an opportunity for you to sell some products. I'm just saying, figure out what they're out of stock and put it online if you're able to sell Walmart Canada online. Next, this article, oh, that came to us from Retail Dive. I think these like next couple ones are coming from Retail Dive. So the next one from Retail Dive is Amazon expands its email marketing tools for brands seeking new customers. So this has always been a thorn. Amazon kind of puts the handcuffs on sellers, and especially private label or brand sellers. They've been doing that for years. We all know that we don't own our data, Amazon does. And so they're trying to sometimes, not all the time, act like they're a little more seller friendly, but the reality is we know they're not. So I'm just going to say that those brands that are looking to be able to communicate, I mean, they have opened up some stuff to allow private label and brands to be able to communicate more directly with their customers. They've been doing this gradually over time, here and there, sporadic. So this is just another thing that they're doing. You can go and read the article over in Retail Dive. This next one is on Retail Dive as well. Monthly retail sales from the U.S. Department of Commerce. And I think they were talking about the decline. Yeah. So the sales. So you can go and read that article. That was not the one that I really wanted. I think this one, maybe. Who knows? I have too many things open. Oh, this one's about the dollar, Family Dollar. So why this is Retail Dive, and this is Family Dollar hacking its price amid inflation. So if you don't know, Family Dollar and Dollar Tree are, Dollar Tree owns Family Dollar. Let's start with that. And so Family Dollar is making some adjustments to their prices. Why? Because of Dollar General. So they are competitors. All of them are competitors. It's just that, Dollar Tree is the lowest price of them all. So just look for some changes coming to Family Dollar regarding their prices and inflation. And hopefully they're going to be working on managing that increase versus just flooding the stores with more stuff. I mean, I think there's an opportunity to get a leg up on Dollar General if they take it. Who knows? This one comes to us from Retail Dive, and it talks about Amazon canceling or uh, delaying the opening of a few warehouses to right size its capacity. So Kelly mentioned earlier about the workflow, and I'm confident that there is a connection to it all. That because, and I think we talked about this a little bit last week, that some of the warehouses that they were planning to open, they're not. They're shifting some of the warehouses that they do have open, and now they're just trying to figure out right size capacity based on the slowing of the consumer spending. I think that, again, this is going to be, I don't know, short term. I think the consumer spending will probably return back to its normal pace within the next year or less, but they are canceling the acquisition, expansion, or, whatever of some of their warehouses, and they're making adjustments to the warehouses they already have open. So that probably has some level of correlation to the changes that they're making to those people that are doing FBA, sending inventory in. This one comes through from Retail Dive as well. Talks about FedEx is ramping up uh, cost cutting measures because of the fact that Q1 and Q2, like, they're preparing for this. So we already know FedEx is raising their prices. So the impact to them, who knows what it's going to be? I don't know. I guess they're bracing for something because, of course, they're raising their prices. So that's going to be an impact. They're not hiring new staff, which may or may not impact the customer service. but they're anticipating that they're going to have fewer packages. So hopefully this will work out for them, or this could become damage control for them if they have a lot of people that are frustrated because they didn't get their packages. Who knows? We're not going to know much about it until we're into January. But this is a strategic move for them. You can read this article in Retail Dive, and we'll see. We'll watch it and see if it flushes out. This one comes to us from the street, and Cole is. I think I mentioned this one probably 2 podcasts ago about Cole's is taking a name to be the new target. Reaching out to the target audience so that they can feel a little bit more like those people who love to go to Target. This will be interesting. I mean, Kohl's is just its own structure. Like Target's ceilings are higher, Kohl's ceilings are lower. The way that Target is laid out and the way that Kohl's is laid out are not the same. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how they're going to target that audience, whether they're going to be, going after ads that are very similar to Target's for the same products or whatever. But we also know that Kohl's is in trouble financially and structurally. They've been working on restructuring and everything. So we'll see how this works out. Again, this comes to us from the street. So you can go and read that article. This article is from Yahoo, and they're talking about a popular party supply chain that's going out of business. They've been in business for like 48 years or something like that, a very long time. And I believe that the name of them is, I had the name, 50/50 Factory Outlet. So if you look at a 50/50 Factory Outlet, they sell party supply products. Party City is still there out there in the universe, but 50/50 Factory Outlet is going out of business. So again, that may open up some space for those who want to have, be able to sell party supply products. You might want to go look at their website now. It does say that they're going out of business when you go there. So again, it's called 50/50 Factory Outlet is the name, and they are, I believe, up north. We're down south, so I think up near Minnesota and things like that. So go check it out. If you didn't know, now you know. Amazon made a change to its ebook return policy. Thank you. And so they're going to put an end to refunds for quick readers. So I don't know if you know this or not. There's long stories. I'll try to make it short. My son would buy stuff on Amazon before I had to put a block on my account because he had a Kindle. And so on Kindle, there's a feature that allows you to just buy what you need. You can also do that with Alexa, and he's done that as well. So I've had to put some blocks on some stuff to stop him from buying stuff. But anyway, one of the things is that Amazon has had for a long time that if you buy a digital product, you can't get a refund. Well, one day my son bought over $1,300 worth of digital products. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. Now you can clearly tell he bought them in rapid succession. There's no way that he could have watched or read any of these things in under 2 minutes. So he just bought. That's the first thing. That's that he's autistic. So they gave me back my money. He did it again, around 2 to 3 weeks later, and I was mad. That time it was $900 something. But I digress. I fought with them about getting my money back because they have this policy about digital products. But why they would allow ebooks to be the exclusion to the rule, I don't know. So for those people who write ebooks and publish them through Kindle Publisher, congratulations, because now you don't have to worry about those, I don't know what else you want to call them, refunds, chargebacks, because of the fact that Amazon has made a correction to their policy. It should have been in place for years. I'm just going to say that. So this comes to us from CNET. You can go and read the article yourself. There's a bunch of authors that are dancing the jig right now out in the aisle. So congratulations to you. Then this one is, I don't know. Oh, Amazon sellers see scary holiday season as consumers pull back. Again, they're putting the fears out there in the universe about, recession, and I believe that how the recession is defined is 2 consecutive, sessions where there was a decline in the economy. So technically we've been in a recession for a little bit, but nobody's using the R word on a regular basis. I don't know. I think this Q4, I still think that there's going to be a lot of buying. I still think that there's going to be a lot of purchases. So this comes to us from Bloomberg, and it's talking about, how Amazon sellers are bracing for it. The one thing that I will say is that you really got to pay attention to your margins. And we did do a podcast on recession proof products. Focus on the things that are considered sort of recession proof to kind of stabilize your income. So if you haven't done that, you can go to our eCom Sellers podcast channel. I believe that Larry has put all those videos up, and you can go and watch that one and check it out. This one comes to us from Tech Radar, and Prime Day early access. So there's going to be a Prime Day 2. It's supposed to be October the 11th through the 12th. So if you are an FBA seller, you need to send your shipment right now. Stop what you're doing, send your shipment in. That's one. Two, you can take a look at the early deals. There are some early deals out there for Prime Day 2. But again, Prime Day 2 is set to be October the 11th through the 12th. We've been talking about this. When COVID first hit in 2020, they did the whole October sale thing. So they're bringing it back in 2022. So we have the July, which is 2 days, typically, in most cases, the second Monday and Tuesday of July. And now we're into October. It's the second Monday and Tuesday of October. So we'll see. What that's going to do is that is going to give a boost to all those people who have products that are listed and active, because there's going to be more sellers coming online looking for deals, looking for products, maybe buying some of their Christmas gifts early, or buying some of the things that they need if they can find a really good deal. So deals are what people are looking for. Deals are what you need to be offering. I would just suggest that you can do whatever you want to with it, your sales. And if you haven't figured out what you're going to sell, I think you're right up on top of October the 1st. Q4 is next week. You're right on top of it. So if you don't have your game plan together, I think it's about time that you pull it together. And then last but not least, this article comes from CNBC, and it talks about what Kroger, Walmart, Target learned from China's Alibaba about groceries in the future. So again, as the economy is slowing, all of the retailers are taking the opportunity to learn some different strategies. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. I think one of the big products, or one of the brands that's coming in from China, is Shein. They're just selling like crazy. You see it everywhere. And so some of the grocery store chains, again, are putting themselves out there, and there's some information to be learned. And technology is a big deal. So all of them have already said that they're going to be investing in technology since the economy is slowing, and expect some pretty cool things to come out in the future. But again, this comes to us from CNBC. We'll see what that does to your local grocery stores, how that impacts or trickles down over time, because Kroger is a grocery store chain. Walmart has its own grocery store section, and so does Target. So clearly there's something to be learned about the efficiency. And then of course, HEB out there. I don't know. I feel like HEB is like the king in grocery stores at this point, but I may be a little premature. I still like Kroger though. So that is all of the news. It was a lot of news that I was able to find. I'm sure that there's way more out there in the universe. I need to start pulling up like some of the emails I get from Amazon and from some of the platforms, and start incorporating that into the discussion. But feel free to go to any of these sites. Feel free to play this back and go read about what's happening out here in the retail space, and what that may or may not do to your business and or business model, or impact what you're doing. May have no impact, may have some impact. So with that being said, we're going to move on. Today's topic we're going to be talking about is books. I got to do a better job of making sure I mention that up front. So today's topic is books. We do have a book workshop coming up. So we want to talk to you about some tips to maximize your profits when selling books. Or just to help you when it comes to selling books. If you're not selling books, books may be a great way to get your foot in the door and get used to selling, get used to the platforms. I feel like books, print on demand, or retail arbitrage are one of the fastest ways, and sometimes the more simplistic ways of getting into the e-commerce space, so that when you don't know what to sell, like, okay, I can find books. Books are everywhere. So with that being said, Kelly and I are going to give you some tips on selling books, or maximize your profits while selling books. So I'll take number one. I'll let Kelly take number two.
All right.
So, whatever platform you decide you're going to sell on, whether you're selling books on eBay or Amazon or you're selling them on any other platform, because there are some book specific platforms that you can actually resell your books on. You need to learn the guidelines for those platforms. Sometimes the guidelines are very specific. Like Amazon is like, it's a no not to sell a book new. You can sell it like new, but you can't sell it as new if you're not a publishing house. These are things that are specific to that platform. There may be some specific rules in selling books on Walmart or selling books on eBay. So whatever platform you decide you're going to put books on, just make sure you understand the guidelines for that platform so that you don't get yourself in trouble. Anything you want to add to that, Kelly?
Um, no, you did pretty good covering that.
All right.
Sourcing outside of the box. So, um, people are like, oh, I can get books at lots of places, thrift stores and, garage sales and such. But I found people who were moving and I asked them, can I buy your books off of you? And I would just bought them. I paid $20 for a box full of books. And, you know, instead of, yeah, I didn't really get to go through them and cherry pick them out, but there's a way you can turn in books at like a second, like a half price bookstore for credit. But, even using the half price bookstore to source, sometimes you find a book that's selling for $90 on Amazon, but they only selling it for $5 at the half price bookstore. So you could pay up a little bit more at the half price bookstore and sell it for a lot more online. So think about that. And then there's also I use Second and Charles as another like used bookstore in my area, and they have a free bin outside where people just take in whatever books that they want to give away. They put in that free bin, and I picked so many books out of there that I got for free, and I flipped them online. I had no problem doing that. So,
I always love that. I also, every once in a while when I'm at the Dollar Tree or every once in a while when I am at Five Below, I will find a book. And I'll find a few books that are worth flipping. Or, your grocery store section, sometimes they'll put some stuff on clearance. So you can sometimes find books. You'd be surprised where you can find them. So think outside the box when you're sourcing for books, when you're looking for books to sell, for sure. And we missed that. I missed that first part because I couldn't hear you for just a second. I heard the word garage sale, but yeah, there's just so many other ways to find books, guys.
mhm.
All right. So next is learning about your shipping options when it comes to shipping books. So Kelly probably should talk about this one, but I know that when you're shipping books, like you don't need to pay some of the prices that people are paying. You can actually ship books inexpensively, and so shipping should not be a large part of the shipping process unless you are shipping, like, I don't know, a volume set or an encyclopedia, not a dictionary, a thick dictionary, like a super heavy book. Like you can ship books, I believe. Is it a media mail, Kelly?
Media mail, yes,
Yeah.
media mail. I think it's $3.49 now for 1 pound, for 1 pound and under, and that's to anywhere. I mean, if you're shipping media mail from here to, we're in Texas, so if I'm shipping it to Seattle, Washington, or somewhere, it's gonna be the same price if I was shipping it to the next city over, $3.49 for a book under a pound.
Yeah. So just you need to learn your shipping options when it comes to books, unless you plan on shipping multiple books. And if there's bundle opportunities, you're shipping multiple books, just find out what is the cheapest way that I can get that bundle of books to someone. Because we got some books listed, but most of ours are book sets that we have listed right now. All right.
Keeping up with the popular culture. So a lot of times you will see movies coming out that were based on a book. Well, if you could find that book, put that up because people want to read that book. There are lots of people want to read that book before they read before they go and watch the movie. So, keep up the popular culture on that, or maybe an author dies. I don't want, a lot of people are mixed feelings about this, but, when someone passes away, books about them, their autobiographies and such, people want to buy that stuff. They want to get that stuff, because that person's name's in the news. So keep up with the popular culture to see what's going on. And if you find books that might be, like with when we had the pandemic and everyone was home, cookbooks went crazy because everyone was home cooking. People
Yeah.
were buying cookbooks like crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So don't overlook libraries, garage sales, and thrift stores for books. There's always books. Kelly mentioned the free bins. I think sometimes people forget that most libraries will have that whole all the books in a bag kind of deal offer. Garage sales, I remember before I even knew the value or understood the importance of books when I used to hold garage sales. I feel like almost every week. That was so long
Mhm.
ago that I sold like boxes of books myself. And I remember now that, over the last 5, 6 years or 7 years, I remember the time in which I literally sold like 3 boxes of readers. And I regret it. I regretted it, not at the time because I didn't realize and recognize or appreciate the value. But now I recognize it because I could have sold those in bundles and made a killing. But there was 3 boxes of books that were just given to me. And I just gave them away, which was a blessing to somebody else. But I was like, you needed that money. so so yeah, sometimes you'll find some really good books, brand new, not even cracked open, at the thrift stores. And you'll also find, ironically, like at the end of the, well, not the end of the year, like the middle of the year or sometime after March or so, you'll see like planners for the year that you're currently in at like deep, 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 deep discounts. You'll see like they'll put them on sale because after a certain period of time, the sales of planners like they start to go down. So they'll move them on or liquidate them or whatever. And so they show up at thrift stores or wherever, and just being able to get a really good deal on those. Now you have a small window in which to push them out, so you got to figure out what your strategy is going to be. But don't overlook, the places where books might live or where people may have books, as Kelly said before.
For libraries, you go to booksalefinder.com and they have a schedule of library sales. So you can go and find when does your local library have their sale.
There you go.
So, mhm.
Which is a good thing. I know Frisco's got one coming up because we're moving to a new library. So of course.
Lots of books. Okay, this I not mean you're gonna. Yes, you're gonna probably have lots of books, but I'm saying lotting up books. Maybe you have a series, maybe like the whole Harry Potter series. That's big, or the whole Lord of the Rings series. And you said selling them individually. You put them as a set because that people won't get the set. They don't want to have to go and try to find, you know, each of an individual book. But if they got the whole set, then you're able to sell it faster than trying to sell each book individually. Or maybe like I found a series of old Star Trek books. I put them together as a lot. It was like, see, and think about the kids books that you read growing up. The Babysitter Club's book, the um, what's that Treehouse series. You
Yeah.
know, those old books, those Goosebumps books that we grew up reading. People love to have those for their kids. So
And
you
that's what I was
find
saying
them,
about those readers. Because I
yes.
had sets of those readers, step one,
Hmm.
like in sets, and step two. We have all of the Dr. Seuss sets of books. I have so many sets of books. It's ridiculous that we have listed right now. Because whenever I would buy a book, the thing about Nicholas with autism is that if you lose one of the books in the set, he's going to have a meltdown. So we literally have all of our sets like still in the cases, still in the little
Mm-hmm.
box frame, which is perfect for selling. We just have to make sure he doesn't see them because he'll want to keep them. So I list them so he doesn't know. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff that's still in box sets. Peppa Pig, a 5, 6 sets. Oh my God, just there's so many. We have so many. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And you can even do lots by like the same author, like a Stephen King lot. That'd be really good to do around Halloween with the horror, for horror stuff, So, you know, just think of different ways or a romance lots, someone maybe wanted to have like a weekend romance, lot of 5 books or something.
There
So,
you go. Always money. There's money in that. Know the types of books that sell each season. So Kelly mentioned like during COVID, when it first, started COVID, a lot of people were buying cookbooks, and so cookbooks were a very popular thing. But I don't know if everyone knows, like, this is the time in which to put your cookbooks up if you haven't already, because people are going to be cooking for Thanksgiving, for Halloween, for Christmas, and they're going to be buying books at the beginning of the year because for weight loss or to eat better or to change their diet. Something about the beginning of the year, everybody wants to try to start over again, set a New Year's resolution. So there's certain books that have a life cycle, and there's an opportunity for you to source those books and to sell those books and then source them in advance and sell them just before that cycle comes. College, when students are, when they're finished with the semester, most of the colleges have like a buyback of the books and stuff like that, but some of them don't. And so, you see students always selling their books online. And again, getting those books or getting those books from the students and being able to flip it for them is just another opportunity. So pay attention to the time of year in which certain books are picking up and others are not. Planners are picking up. They're going to continue to pick up steam and sell, and calendars too. Um, and they're going to pick up steam and sell, November, December, January, February. And so those are sold in bookstores, and they're also sold in other stores, but they're sold in bookstores. Something that's going to be picking up steam. Anything you want to add to that, Kelly?
yeah, like you're saying, because people start baking, so a lot of the cookbooks that are dealing with baking or even craft books dealing with holiday crafts and stuff would
Yep.
be good.
Yep. And gardening books will be something that at the beginning of the year or the end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the year, people will be buying gardening books because they want to have gardening ideas.
Especially now.
Yep, decorating books as you get before spring break, before spring cleaning, as people are like starting up anew. They want to, change up their space, and so they typically do that. So there's a cycle for these books, and you just have to pay attention to it.
Sell books on multiple platforms. I mean, everyone thinks, oh yeah, Amazon. Amazon's a place to go for books. Yes, I've sold Amazon books on Amazon. Um, in the last month, I've sold books on Amazon. I've sold books eBay. I've sold book on Etsy. Mercari. They can't forget Mercari. I've sold books on Mercari. I've sold books on my Pango book app. It's a app just to sell books, and it's very easy to use. I mean, that's like 2 clicks, and you put in your price, and you're done listing. I mean, it's extremely easy to use. So try multiple because every platform has different audiences. Um, and sometimes I post one, I take one book and I cross post it across all the platforms just because it needs to find that one person. But I've sold books. I love on Etsy. Yeah, I tend to only do, yeah, like we said beginning, you have to know the platform. Etsy, I either do, yeah, it has to be a vintage book, so an old book that's 20 years or older. So that's good for like vintage cookbooks and such. And I do vintage craft books, and then I could do more recent craft books, because crafting is another thing with Etsy that you're allowed to, is craft supplies, and a book that's teaching you how to make a supply, how to, do something crafty wise is a supply. So like I said, like we said, we have to know the platforms. So, but I've put it out there because there's different eyes on each platform.
Absolutely. All right. The Bible. I'm going to have to let Kelly speak to that one because she added it.
Okay. This is something I brought from eBay Open. But I've always sold Bibles. They sell so good, especially the study Bibles. They will sell Bibles in different languages. That was one of the things I pulled from the free bin, was this Bible, and it was in this. I had to really dig. It was like some language from Africa I had never heard of, and
Wow.
yeah. So, and then, just the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, whatever the religious books do well. But especially the Bible, if you find, not the little 50-cent little pocket size, I really don't, you have to learn, but it's more of the ones that are the leatherbacks, the older ones, the vintage ones. Those, and people don't care that there's notes written in them half the time, because maybe they'll learn something from the notes of the previous owner. So just make sure you describe your bio, whenever you list it and everything, but they don't last long when you list them.
All right. I learned something new. I mean, I knew Bible sold, but I had not thought about other languages. So I'm going to have to go start paying attention to that. Use popular sites as a research tool. So I always use Amazon as one of my favorite research tools because of the fact that, you can get sales rank on Amazon as free information. Now, there are other sites where you can get sort of the book relevance and velocity and rank for the book. So there's some other platforms out there that are not just Amazon, but if you don't know all those and you're new to the book game, you can start off with Amazon as a platform as you get familiar with sales rank, and use it as a basis. Now, the sales rank for books selling on Amazon, the numbers are going to be way higher, and way higher is still good. So just pay attention to that so that you're aware of it versus, I think of like toys. I don't look at stuff that's, I try not to, I still do, but I try not to look at stuff that's over sales rank of 45,000. Well, books, books that have a sales rank of 1 million can still be doing well. As Kelly mentioned before, like the Bible, I'm confident that the Bible sales rank is pretty high, and it still is going to sell like crazy, especially if you have it in a specific language and someone is looking for it. So it may be a thing that's not always available, but I'm confident that it does well. So pay attention to different sites. So there are other sites outside of Amazon, but one of the free ones is just looking at Amazon sales rank. And you can also see what it's selling for on like Barnes and Noble, some of the popular sites as well, Barnes and Noble. Kelly, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, like a lot. When I'm listing my books on Pango Books, first thing I do is I scan it and see what it's selling for on eBay. Because some of my books that aren't selling much for on eBay, I just go ahead and just put it on Pango, and I don't put it because they have a lot of on eBay. You have the really discount booksellers who are selling books for $3.99 free shipping. I'm like, well, I can't do that. I won't, there's no meat on the bone. I'll be paying eBay to sell my book. So, yeah, but I use eBay for the books, because right now I'm kind of pulling away from Amazon because of the headaches with it. So
we know.
Yeah.
I understand. All right. So I hope this information is helpful to you. I hope that you use it if you're currently a bookseller or you're thinking about being a bookseller. Use it to help you on your e-commerce journey. If you want to know more about books, if you want to go through a full course, we have a two-part series that is coming up. It starts on Tuesday, the 26th or 27th. I think it's the 27th. Yeah. So Tuesday, the 27th. And you can go to bit.ly/a ESA books. Again, bit.ly/ESA books. ESA stands for Ecom Sellers Academy. Definitely go there and register if you want to sign up. Now, if you're already an Academy member, you do not have to do anything. We will broadcast that training directly in the Ecom Sellers Academy Facebook group. But if you are not an Academy member, then we definitely invite you to become an Academy member, or you can just sign up for that training specifically and go to bit.ly/ESA books. Then I do want to remind you that the Ecom Sellers Planner, the Ecom Planner, is available. It's here, it's ready, and we are offering it at a discounted price. You definitely want to grab it. I am so excited about the Ecom Planner and all the cool stuff that's in it and all the cool stuff that's coming. We had some major, like, great information in it before, and then we made some enhancements to that. So this is going to be a great year. As soon as it is published, or as soon as we
You going
have
somewhere?
it, Kelly's talking to her family. As soon as we have it ready to rock and roll, um, we're going to show it so that you can see it. Definitely invite you to go ahead and grab it, though. You can get it at the discounted price. So again, you can go to ecoms, go directly to myecomplanner.com, click on 2023, and grab the 2023 Ecom Planner right now at a discounted price. And then for those that are currently Ecom Sellers Academy members and or Ecom Sellers customers, don't forget to show up for the boot camp. It is on Thursdays at 8 p.m. And so you should have an email. If you're not seeing the email, you can email support at ecomsellerssummit.com so we can make sure that we send that link to you to sign up for the boot camp. We want to help you have a successful Q4. In the midst of all of this, our recession. In the midst of all the discussions about the recession, we want you to have an amazing Q4. So, and then we invite you to grab the Ecom Seller Summit recordings and also the bonuses that go with it in the Ecom Seller Summit training. There, you're going to gain access to all the training sessions from this last summit. You'll also gain access to all the lists. There's a wholesale list. There is a print on demand list. I'm trying to remember all of this. Retail to online arbitrage store list. There is, oh gosh, white label list, drop shipping list. So there's a lot of lists, and you get all of that will help you on your e-commerce journey. And because of the fact that you grab the all access pass, you automatically get 50 leads every single week through the month of September, October, and November. Every single week ends up being 200 leads a month for September, October, November. So we invite you to grab the Ecom Seller Summit right now so that you can get the leads list every single week. And if you don't want to grab the Ecom Q4 Summit recordings, the Q4 training, you can go ahead and buy your own RAOA leads list. You'll get 50 leads every single week, 200 leads a month. You can go to ecomsellersacademy.com/RAOA leads. Again, RAOA leads to grab your leads list. So I do want to point this out. This is actual real time. Now I do want to say this picture, more than likely, that's for the Amazon listing and for the Walmart listing, is probably an image from last year because it's got the chocolate on the top versus the white icing on the top. I noticed that. But outside of that, it's the same product. So every year, a lot of these companies will put out the same product over and over and over again. So right now, so they'll just put out variations of the same product or the exact same product. This is a Hostess Scary Cakes and chocolate cake Twinkies variety 32 pack that is available at Sam's Club for $7.98. It's selling right now on Amazon for $18.49 and it's selling on Walmart for $19.01. So that means that you have the opportunity to source this product if you got a Sam's Club close to you, and then you'll be able to sell it. The great thing about this particular product is, one, it is specific to, which means people are interested in buying that because it is in their face. It is a holiday specific thing. So this product is going to sell. That's one. Two, it is a limited time offer, so limited edition. So again, it's a product that is going to sell. It is only available for a limited time. So if you're going to source it, if you're going to flip it on one of these other platforms, make sure you pay attention to the expiration dates and you know what the expiration date rules are for each one of the platforms that you sell on. And then the other thing is, again, because it is a limited edition, it is seasonal, so it's going to get some traction and some velocity, which means if there's a lot of sellers on the listing, those sellers are all going to get their turn to be able to flip or sell their product, especially if it's reasonably priced. But sourcing it directly from Sam's Club and then flipping it on one of the other platforms. Opportunity, you can tell, okay, Sam's Club $7.98, round that up to $8. Double $8 is, $16. So clearly the ROI on this exceeds what the traditional common ROI is. So these are opportunities you want to take advantage of when you have the opportunity. Even with the platform fees and even with the shipping, you still are going to make a profit for this particular product for your time of sourcing it. So if you're looking for more leads like this is a replenishable. This is a replenishable. This is the product that when it's gone, people will buy more of it, or maybe they'll buy the next box that goes around that may be fall related or maybe Christmas related. And so again, replenishables, consumables, things that when it runs out, people are going to buy more of it. People are going to buy this. This will be something that they use to give away, maybe in the daycares, like, oh, okay, we're going to give kids a little treat just before the holiday break or, Halloween break. Or it could be something that's in one of the offices, like I don't know, your insurance office, your not your dental office, probably not, but some other office where you have to go in, talk to someone about filling out some forms or do something. They may have some extra treats laying around. Most of the time it's candy, but sometimes they have these. And it could be something that when churches are having a little get together for the weekend before their fall carnival, that they give away these treats in all of their classes for either their daycare or for their Sunday school classes. So you have to look at the many ways in which a box of this quantity could be used, because they're going to need more of this. They're not just going to buy one, they're going to buy multiples of it. So it's an opportunity. Those types of places are going to buy multiples of it to give away to all the kids. That's a lot of boxes. So I want you to think about the opportunity that you have to be able to sell and source and sell these types of things. If you're looking for more replenishables, the one thing about our retail arbitrage list that we sell, our retail and online arbitrage, just our arbitrage list, is that we definitely have at least 35 to 40% of the products that are on our arbitrage list every single week is replenishables, period. So this is a product that will be on the list this year. Of course, it's already there. But the other thing is that the product will be, you'll get a reminder. You can put it, if you buy the eCom planner, you can put it in your planner so you know to source it for next year. You know to go to Sam's Club in August, the end of August, to find it, to list it, to source it, to list it, because that's when it's going to be out. So you can get your retail arbitrage and online arbitrage leads list. You can go to ecomsellersacademy.com/RAOA leads list if you are looking for the opportunity to sell some products that are going to move and that have a above average ROI. So go to ecomsellersacademy.com/RAOA leads. Get your leads list now, or just go ahead and buy the eCom Q4 Summit all access pass, and you'll get the leads list as well. You can try it out. That's a great way to try it out. So with that, I think that is it. Thank you, Kelly. All right, so we are back again. My name is Nicole Whitlock. This is the eCom Sellers Podcast. We do this every Monday, and starting next month, it's going to be 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Along for the ride, my amazing co-host on this journey,
Kelly the eCom Mom Ward.
And Kelly and I will return again next week. In the meantime, we invite you to share this out with a friend. Let somebody else know about the eCom Sellers podcast. Sign up for any of our programs and come back and join us next week. Listen to the replay. And with that, we're going to say goodbye for now.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.